Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Accounting Theory. My name is Jack and I'll be your presenter for tonight. Today we're going to be discussing why auditors cannot predict bankruptcy and why. Joining us we have Glenn, Managing Director at KPMG, and Dr. Lachlan from Harvard Business Review, majoring in Accounting Theory. Thank you for joining me, gentlemen. First off, just a bit of background information for the viewers. Auditors work for an insurance provider and arrive at an opinion about information being provided by their client to a third party. A financial report audit is the most common and is one type of insurance engagement and involves an auditor arriving at an opinion about the truthfulness and fairness of their financial report. Only part of their job is to actually assess the going concern of the company. A recent report has come out and found that 50% of cases where companies subsequently declared bankruptcy, auditors did not predict it coming. One of the main concerns with auditors not being able to predict bankruptcy is the expectation gap. Coming up, we have Dr. Lachlan willing to discuss this for us. Thanks, Lachlan.
Thanks, Jack. So, the auditing expectation gap, or simply the expectation gap, is the term used to signify the difference in expectation of users of financial statements and the auditor's expectations concerning audited financial statements. So, in particular, the gap is caused by an unrealistic user expectation. Now, this arises from the auditor providing complete assurance, the auditor also guaranteeing the future viability of the entity, and also an unmodified audit opinion is an indicator of complete accuracy.
So Glenn, as a very reputable member of the auditing profession, what do you believe are the main factors that contribute to auditors not being able to predict bankruptcy?
Well, Jack, in the audit profession, it's the responsibility of the auditor to only obtain sufficient appropriate evidence to assess the validity of the going concern assumption made by their client. So in auditing, we're limited by the scope of the engagement. For certain going concern assumptions, auditors actually rely on management representation and information provided by management to help cover off on these assertions. While auditors are charged to be professionally sceptical, it's not the responsibility of the auditor to investigate further if management's assumptions appear reasonable. Can be a couple of factors that also contribute to the auditors not being able to predict bankruptcy. So one of the main ones is the lack of information. Due to the size of audits and cost, auditors cannot test every account and must use samples to come to the opinion of populations. Furthermore, we do rely on management telling us everything in order to understand what's fully going on with their business. The lack of time. Auditors, as part of providing an economically viable audit, are limited to what can be examined. As such, auditors tend to focus more of their time on higher risk areas. If nothing comes to our attention indicating that the firm could be at risk of being a going concern, we won't look any further into that. Information being hidden by management. In some cases, management don't want to alert auditors potential bankruptcy information. While we can do our best to find information that would indicate this, it's not always possible given the time and limitations of an audit.
So Lachlan, in your research of accounting theories, what do you believe are the main theories relevant to predicting bankruptcy for auditors?
Well, Jack, there's two main theories with respect to that. The first of these two theories is agency theory. Now, agency theory is the relationship between the principal and the agent and the arising conflicts of interest between the two. If the interests of the two are not aligned, then the managers may make decisions that are not in the best interest of the principal. Now, managers may hide or leave out information in the financial statements if it will increase their remuneration packages, and this can be done through bonuses. Also, in hiding this information, it may affect an auditor's ability to predict bankruptcy. Now, the second of these two relevant theories is information asymmetry. And what this is that managers have an advantage over investors and other interested parties as they have more information about the current and future prospects of the entity and can choose when and how to disseminate this information. Now, managers have a greater knowledge of the inside workings of the firm and its going concern, and this is through things such as future contracts, clients, and risks regarding that industry. If they believe that the future does not look as bright as the shareholders want, then they may adjust financial statements. Also, auditors are not a part of the business's day-to-day activities and may rely on clients' estimates as they may have a greater knowledge in this industry.
That's all we've got time for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Lachlan and Glenn for joining us and giving our insights. And will you please join us next week on Accounting Theory at 5 p.m. Thank you.